Now I'll recognize Councillor Kelly.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. I want to start by thanking staff for bringing forward this report. I think we can all agree that being prepared for an emergency puts us in a much better place to ensure best outcomes for everyone that is affected. And as the councillor for West Carleton March, I can say that preparedness for extreme weather is not theoretical discussion. Not my word. Over the past decade, we've experienced repeated flooding, major tornado, derecho. I think we need to standardize the pronunciation of that word. Frequent, prolonged power outages, dry wells, and other things that pop up over the years. And unfortunately, we've had plenty of opportunities to learn what disaster relief really means. And an ongoing joke that happens in my ward is that we're just waiting for the locusts to come because we seem to have experienced pretty well everything else. But one of the more or most important lessons we've learned, I think, is that community resilience makes all the difference. Local volunteers, community organizations, and neighbors are often the first source of support for residents, long before any official recovery efforts are initiated by the province or the city. In Ward 5, we've seen organizations like West Carleton Disaster Relief and many volunteers step up during these times, and what makes those efforts successful isn't just equipment. I think it's and most importantly, I think it's the relationships and community trust that have been built up long before an emergency occurs, which I think that's why this program is so important, and why I appreciate the approach of this report. So I certainly support the recommendations, and I have a couple of questions for staff. So this one is in regards to the insurance. So the report identifies insurance requirements as a potential barrier to participation for some organizations, but the city already administers community partnership insurance programs to help community groups access affordable insurance. Have staff explored whether that program could help organizations meet the insurance requirements of this grant program, and whether or not there are opportunities to align those two programs?
Hello, Chair. Thank you for the question. Staff did initiate discussions with the CPIP team, and while it seems to be a good route, there are some challenges. The direction that's been given for the CPIP is very specific in terms of who the eligible organizations are and the activities that are permitted. So the way this program is moving forward, we're expanding. We're going beyond just community associations or organizations that are placed in a specific geographical area. So we're looking for a broader organizations. And secondly, most of the program or the activities that are permitted in that program are around greening as well as community gardens and now some stewardship. What we're proposing in terms of preparedness activities is beyond the scope of that. So it didn't align.
Okay. So I think also the report appropriately prioritizes organizations that have completed community emergency plans. In West Carleton, we've also seen organizations develop significant preparedness capacity through real-world experience responding to floods, tornadoes. How will the evaluation process recognize demonstrated history and emergency response capability and existing community partnerships in addition to formal emergency plans?
Thank you, Mr. Chair, for the question. So, Councillor, as you had highlighted within the staff report, certainly we'd be looking as part of that evaluation criteria to certainly also consider kind of that readiness based on the community environmental plans. But as you had recognized too, we know there's a lot of that direct lived experience within the community. So certainly considering those pieces as part of the community as part of the sorry, just give me 1 second.
I think at the time of the application, I think we will be looking at certainly experiences and as well as the feasibility of what they're proposing. And so if they have experience and they have that skills that they can demonstrate in their application, I think that will be considered.
Thank you. Certainly appreciate the responses from staff, and I know that I will echo what has been said in the presentation, is that preparedness doesn't start when the emergency begins. It starts months and years beforehand, through planning and training and communications, and most of all partnerships and relationships. So I'm happy to see that this pilot program recognizes the reality and provides communities with tools to strengthen that capacity. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair.